Hello there, Flosstube. You have found the 303 Stitcher. My name is Kim, and this is my little part of the internet where I talk about my love for cross stitching. If you are new here, I want to say welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I hope that you like what you see. I will be showing the projects that I worked on. I haven't been here in a little bit of a minute. We'll talk about that later. And if you are returning, thank you so much. I've had a couple of new subscribers since I was here last, so I really appreciate y'all stopping by, subscribing, and looking forward to chatting with y'all today. Today is March 30th, 2024, and this is Flosstube number 6. Today might be a little bit of a hot mess, y'all. I have a headache and I'm not feeling super great, but I really wanted to get this done because the last time I was here was in January. A lot has happened since then. I've worked on 8 projects. Some of my stitching time was impacted by my 40th birthday, which was a couple weeks ago. And we went to Europe for a couple of weeks. Not complaining. It was a great trip. And I'll talk about that at the end of the video. So for today, I'm just going to jump right into the stitching. I do apologize if at any point in time I make a weird face, which it's just my face. But I have a left shoulder injury, and where I record at, everything that I have is to my left. So I might be in a little bit of pain. I am in physical therapy for that, and hopefully won't have to have any kind of surgery or anything like that. So yeah, so let's jump into where we have been working. These are in no order. There are some bags, I did unzip them, but I do have everything in a bag. My cat Tori is down here, so she is kind of all over the place. So I apologize now if she knocks anything over or makes any scenes. So the first one that I will show you all, and I will try to just do the plastic bags first to get everybody all the crinkling out of the way. This is going to be Treasures of the Sea. This is by Oleg Gavrilov. This is by Heaven and Earth Designs, and that's what this is going to look like when it is done. And I did not take the Q-snap off of this like I should have before recording. I actually finished another page on this, so let's see if I can. I'll just take it all apart for you. Oops. And if I look down a lot, my notes are in my lap, so I make notes. So if I have pictures from any of these from the last time you saw them, I will enter them when I edit. So here is where I am. So I basically finished, I think the last time y'all saw it, I didn't have this little doohickey here done. And so I think that I just did all of this here from the last time that y'all saw it. So there is full shot of where we are on this currently. I don't have my stats written down. I will try to get better about that. I'm just not a big stat person. I just like watching and the project come together, so I don't really write down the stats. This was my focus piece for January and most of February. So it got the most work done on it. But I'm gonna change my full coverage pieces every 2 months or so for my focus pieces. So that is now going to get put away and probably won't touch it unless it gets called for WIPGO. I did a total of 12 days on that one and did a total of 4,361 stitches. That is being stitched 25 count easy guide lugana, even weave, and it is done 1/1 full cross. So that project is a gift for my mother-in-law. Whenever I finish it, she has a whole beach themed room. So hopefully we'll finish it in the next couple years. And I forgot to say, this is for March, for February and for March. So I'll try to say like, if I worked on it in February, worked on it in March, or what that looks like. So yeah, so that is Treasures of the Sea. The next project that I worked on is Chimera Black Rose Max Colors. This is artwork by Laurie Prindle, and this is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And that's what it's gonna look like when it's done. Lots and lots and lots of purples in here. So it's a good thing that I really like stitching on purples and blues, as you will see as we go through this video. And if you've been here for a minute, you probably already know that. So on this project, this was actually my March WIPGO call, one of them, and my WIPGO goal is to work on them for one weekend. For me, I work Monday through Thursday, and so my weekend is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I did work on this for 3 days in March, even though we were gone for 2 weeks. And I got 1,593 stitches. This is being stitched on 25 count easy guide lugana, and it's being stitched 1/1 full cross. You can actually see, probably see, maybe I actually started this. This was my first Hade project, and excuse all of the threads. I'm actually going across the page and working all of these in because they annoy me now. But I actually initially started this project 2/1 full cross, and I got probably halfway through the first page at the very top. And I'm not going to undo this for you all. I will show it to you at a later point in time. You can kind of see it across there. And I realized how bulky it was getting. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. So give it as my first Hade, and really, I mean, when you're a ways back from it, you can't really tell anyways. I switched to 1/1 full cross on this. Obviously these grid lines will wash out. So yeah, so I will probably be pulling this out at some point this year and making this as my focus piece as well. As far as those 2 months go, we'll kind of just see where we go. This is a gift for my daughter. Hoping to have it done before she graduates high school. She's going into her freshman year, so I've got a few years. The next project that I have worked on that I have decided, I spent the last few weeks in March and planning on being my focus piece for my full coverages in April, is Honeymoon Sunset. This is by Abraham Hunter. I apologize, this cover is a little wrinkly, and it is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. So a lot of people are working on this right now, so this should be probably a pretty familiar piece. I am working up here in the Tree from Hell, and I actually did a lot of work on this one, and I was just stitching on this before I decided to hop on and record today. So this is where I am. So this is actually being stitched 2/1 tent stitch on 32 count easy guide lugana, and don't mind all of my little fuzzies. So I don't like flipping my work back and forth to start or to finish. So what I do is I just kind of bring them down a little bit and then snip them. So that's where all these, and then so I'll stitch over here, and then we'll snip all of those out or pull them through with my little snag nabbit. But yeah, so I finished page 1, and I am probably about 60% of the way done with page 2. I figured out how to master this confetti, because this confetti is no joke, and I'm sure other stitchers that are working on this that are floss tubers have all said the same thing. I've posted it on my Instagram, which is the 303 Stitcher. This confetti is no joke. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking it and I am just grabbing like a color and just filling it in wherever it goes on the page. So, but yeah, that is Honeymoon Sunset. I'm hoping to get this page done this week. And then I'm just gonna kind of keep working on it until this tree is done. I really want this tree to be done because it is just a pain. So, so that one I did a total of 16 days. So I did 8 days in February and 8 days in March. In February I did 2,589 stitches. In March so far, since this is the 30th, since I'll still work on it tomorrow after our Easter stuff, I've done 3,142. So it's a total of 16 days, 5,731 stitches. Again, that is 2 over 110 stitch, just because it is my largest piece I'm working on, and I do want it done at some point. So that is Honeymoon Sunset, and I'm actually gonna put it away because my cat is starting to show some interest in my projects. So I'm just gonna slide that back into this bag real quick. This bag is a Grand Toten bag, and at first I wasn't so sure how I felt about the fabric, but actually I think it's really cute. It's grown on me, and I think it's a really good project bag for cross stitching. So super cute. I will show you, I've got some new starts, and I apologize because these are going to be wrinkled because I took this little project binder, which is amazing, with me when we went on our trip. So they're kind of crammed in here, and so they're probably a little wrinkly. These were 2 new starts that I decided to do out of 3 new starts for the 2 months. Well, I will have to insert a picture of what one of them is going to look like. Or I can just maybe find it on my phone real quick. I don't know where my phone is. Never mind. I will just go ahead and put a picture in later. So one of them is, sorry, zipper. I started the Fabulous Houses. This is a series of 12 different types of houses. This is by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I actually am doing this for my leap year sale that we started on February 29th. I started mine a little bit early. You could, it's fine. The rules are not hard. You just have to start it sometime within 2024, with the idea that you will finish them, or finish whatever you decide to do, by the next leap year, so 2028. So I decided to see how many of these houses I could get done. So I actually started Sienna House, and that color of the fabric's not coming through real well. I'm doing everything in the called for. So this is, the fabric is 40 count prehistoric, I believe, by Fox and Rabbit, which is my first Fox and Rabbit. It is linen. I have stitched on linen before, but yeah, 40 count. So that's kind of my start. I will insert a picture of what this is going to look like. I didn't get very far. Stitching on 40 count while traveling, it's kind of hard. I did some stitching on a train. I did some stitching on a plane, and in the hotel room. But again, I took 2 projects. So, so for this one, I did 1 day in February, which is when I started it. And that was, I did 100 stitches. I spent 4 days on this in March and did 768 stitches. So we have a total of 868 stitches. And that needle minder, I'm in a needle minder club from Creatively Crafting. So she does quarterly. You just pay every month, and every quarter she sends out 3 new needle minders. So yeah, so that was one of them, is I'm counting, which I thought was perfect for our trip, especially since I knew I was going to be stitching in public on 40 count. So that's one of my new starts, for the leap year sale. And then the other one that I started is very late to the party here, is the Modern Folk Embroidery with Love. sale. So this actually was a sale with a collaboration with Modern Folk Embroidery, Evertote, and Roxy Floss Co. I did their Christmas one, absolutely loved it, and so I decided that when this one came out, which I love this pattern, I was gonna jump on that bandwagon. One thing that I absolutely love, and I guess I can kind of show you guys on the back. It came with 3 other little charts, and this one is customizable, which I love, and it came with all of the fabric and enough floss to stitch all of the patterns. So I did get the kit from Evertotes, with the Roxy floss, and I love this. So I will actually probably stitch all of these, I think. This one, like I said, is customizable. You can actually change out these little characters. So you can, if you want to have a man and a woman, you can have a man and a woman. You can change it out to be another woman and a woman. So yeah, so I really like that. So I will definitely be working on that. And my tablet just turned off, so apologize. Give me just 1 second. So this is just a small start of where I am. So I am stitching this 2 over 2 full cross. And this is on, I want to say it's 28 count. I don't remember the fabric name for this one. Panettone, maybe? Maybe? Can't remember. If I remember or if I find it, I will put it down in the comments. So yeah, so I stitched on that one for one day in February for 200 stitches, and I stitched on it for 3 days in March for 780 stitches. So a total of 4 days, and I did a total of 987 stitches. That's it for those. Gonna slide those back in there. The next one is my last new start for this recording session. It is in another Grand Totem bag. I do get them every month. These were so cute. They're like little gnomes for St. Patrick's Day. This was the March bag of the month. So cute. This is the inside fabric. So this one, I am part of the Cross Stitch Studios Insiders Club, and I, for my birthday, get to choose every year a free pattern from them. And as soon as she released this one, which came out right around my birthday, I said, I have to have it. It has to be mine. And so it's what I asked for my freebie, and I will actually pull up a picture of this now that I found my phone, because I don't have one printed. Give me just a second. I have to scan through my patterns. So this is Dumbledore's Library. This is by the Cross Stitch Studio, and sorry for the glare from my lights. I will try to insert a better picture because this isn't capturing super great. Wonder if I like turn this one off, if it will be better. Oh yeah, there you go. That one's a little bit better. Let's see, maybe. I'll put a picture in. So, or maybe it will show. I'll put a picture in. I said that 3 times now, y'all. Told you. It's a rough day today. So I started this one after I got back from our trip. So I started this about 2 weeks ago. And we did 5 days on this for a total of 1,623. It is an all 939, which looks black here, but it is 939. I'm doing this on 32 count, easy guide lugana. I'm stitching it 1/1 full cross. It is my first time 1/1 full cross on 32. I think I found a new love. That's another one of my needle minders. This pattern is 800 by 800, so it is huge. And so yeah, my needle minder, because I keep starting all of the things and keep buying supersized projects and starting supersized projects, it says stitch like I'm immortal, because I feel like that's what I need to do at this point in time in order to get all of my stuff finished. And my cat is also now attacking my projects, so I'm gonna pause this. Okay. She was trying to dig her claws into my linen, and that was not working. I was panicking, so apologize. Sorry about the delay. My next project, I only have 2 left, is Sea Turtle. This one is by Patrick LaMontagne, I think is his name. This is by the Cross Stitch Studio. This is what this is gonna look like. You've been here for a minute. You know, I love sea turtles. You see them all over my needle minders. It is in this sea turtle bag that I got from Stitch North last year. Nope, false. I actually didn't get this one from Stitch North last year. This is actually from one of the Bestitch Me mystery boxes. I think it was last year. And I actually did not work on this one a little bit for a long time either. I only worked on it for 1 day for 615 stitches. So I am stitching this on 25 count. Yes, 25 count easy guide lugana, 1/1 full stitch. And you can see it's just a bunch of blues right now. Nowhere near really anywhere. I did this for, I think, one of my games. So I just wanted to do something easy that I could just get a bunch of stitches in a short amount of time. So that is Sea Turtle. And then last but not least is, oh, I lie. It's another new start. I started this one in February. It is another Grand tote bag. I felt like this was perfect for this project. This was the February bag of the month. And yeah, when you see it, you will understand why I thought that this was perfect. And I will pull up a picture of the project and I will put it in as well. Other people are stitching on this one, so you may have seen an Aussie and a Kiwi World. Judy's stitching on it. I think Alara just started it as well. So there's a few of us who are working on it. This is a Gecko Rouge kit. I did get the whole kit. It is the bee from Lorna Lane. And I love the colors in this. That's what drew me to this when I first saw it. I think Alara showed it on one of her videos, maybe like her stash dive, or maybe it was her plans for her starts for this year. I'm not sure where I saw it the first time, but as soon as I saw it the first time, I was like, I'm in love with that. The colors are gorgeous. They're calling to me and I need to stitch it. So I ordered the kit in 28 count, easy guide lugana, and I started in the upper left hand corner, and I did a total of 2 days on this in February for 602 stitches. Again, this was I think it was one of my games, or I just decided that I just wanted something bright and colorful because I was just stitching blue and purple. And a lot of dark colors. So I decided that I was just going to start this one. There's my little Sea Turtle needle minder. That's an Agnes needle minder. I love her. She actually has pre-orders right now on her website, on Etsy. If you want to go out and check that out, feel free. Sorry, I thought I smelled smoke for a minute. And distracted. I'm sitting downstairs next to the furnace room, and so it just kicked off. So I just thought I smelled something. Sorry. But yeah, she has pre-orders for, I think, one of the series that she had previously done. So she has dragons, she has sea turtles, she does little needle holder, magnetic needle holders sometimes. Usually she comes out with a series every 6 to 8 weeks, and then they go really quick. You pretty much have to like set an alarm if you, and kind of know what one you're going in after. When they go live on her Etsy shop, I have been very fortunate and have been able to snag a lot of my favorites that you'll see scattered throughout my projects as I record. So that is it as far as stitching goes. My plans for the month of April are going to be to continue to work on Honeymoon Sunset and see how far I can get on that. Whip Go numbers have been called. One is a new start and one is Cozy Christmas, which is amazing because that is actually one project that I haven't touched yet this year. And then my new start, I actually already have planned. I am going to Stitch North weekend 1 with some of my friends. And I am going to start Waterhole Master by David Penfound with my friend Kristen. We keep joking that if she were to ever start a Flosstube, she would be known as my friend Kristen, because that's how we all refer to her. Myself, Darren, I think Judy, Kelly, Alara, we all just say my friend Kristen. And so, yeah, so we're going to start that project at Stitch North. It's something that we both have had kitted up for a little bit, so excited to start that. We'll see what other things I might start this month. But those are the bigger plans. And then the other weekends, I might actually stitch on some of the projects that haven't been touched yet this year, which are a lot. Probably some of my smaller projects, like my Aphrodite Mermaid, which is my Mirabilia that I haven't touched in probably about a year. I might actually take that one with me to Stitch North to see if I can get some work on it. And we'll just kind of see. I have no big plans for that, so those were my only set in stone plans. I will try to come back here at the end of April and show y'all what I have worked on. If you were only here for cross-stitching stuff, I'm going to say thank you so much for hanging in. This was a hot mess. Like I said, I have a headache and I don't feel super great, and I haven't been here in a couple of months. If you were here for any life updates or just in here for the long haul, buckle up. I am going to share about our trip. At the end, I'll put in some pictures from our trip and just talk about life. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I turned 40 at the beginning of this month, which feels like any other year. I know some people kind of panic at 40. But one thing that we do in our house, and my partner and I, is that we actually like to celebrate like the big birthdays, the big anniversaries, those things. And we just like to travel in general. So for my 40th this year, we were just kind of talking towards the end of last year and trying to figure out where we were going to go. For her 40th, we went to Jamaica. That was a few years ago. And so I wanted to go back to Hawaii. That was kind of my initial thought. we went to Hawaii for spring break with the kids and my mother-in-law, and we took my dad and my brother-in-law last year and just had a really great time. I am a Pisces in some ways, and the fact that water really just rejuvenates me and is my happy place. So I was like, let's go back to Hawaii. And we started kind of talking about it, and she was like, what about Europe? And so we started doing some research, and we actually decided to book through Costco. They do amazing travel packages and just kind of takes a lot of the legwork out of it. So we decided to do Italy and Greece for my 40th birthday. We flew from Denver to London on February 29th. So we left here the evening of February 29th. Got into London in the morning of March 1st. It's about a 9.5 hour flight. And had a little bit of a layover in London. It was rainy when we landed in London. I've never been to Europe, so par for the course, I hear, for London for this time of year. And honestly didn't really see much but the airport. Made it through security again, and then we went to hang out in the lounge because we did upgrade that leg of the flight to business class, which was really nice to have a lay down seat so that way we could sleep for that flight, because we were gonna hit the ground running, and it was about a 24-hour travel day total. And then we flew from London to Venice, and y'all, it was rainy. Like I said, I mean, it rained a lot during our trip. In the beginning, we were gone for 10 days. Well, scheduled for 10 days. I'll get there too. And it was awesome. Venice felt so quaint. And it was just so fun just to walk down the little streets and just explore and just not really have a plan. We did a gondola ride. That was a plan. That was something that we both wanted to do. And we timed it perfectly. It was overcast. And as we were getting off of the gondola, it started pouring. But we timed that perfectly, and it was really fun. And just being like at the canals and just, I don't know, there was just something really romantic about Venice. Each place had its own thing that I loved, and that, you know, I left a little piece of me there. But yeah, so we spent 2.5 days in Venice, and then we flew to Florence. So we got into Florence on a Sunday afternoon, and we did a cooking class in Florence. Learned how to make some pastas, which we actually made some gnocchi since we got home. That was a lot of fun. I'm not the cook in the home by any means, and so my wife really got a kick out of like watching me try to make pasta. And then Monday we were there, we kind of wandered around and realized that we planned Florence terribly. All of the museums are closed on Mondays in Florence. And so we did not actually get to go see Michelangelo's David, or like the original or anything like that. There is a replica in one of the squares that we did get to go see. We did eat some amazing food at every single location that we went to. So yeah, so we didn't plan that very well, but all in all, Florence was still fun. And we went into some of the churches that had some really cool artwork and stuff too. We left on Tuesday morning, from Florence, and we went to Rome. Pretty sure that was the timeline. Anyways, we went from Florence to Rome. Rome was so cool. We spent 3 days in Rome, and it was glorious weather the whole time that we were in Rome. We got there and we just kind of checked into our hotel. It was a 5-star hotel. It was stunning. We ended up getting upgraded because it was my birthday, to a junior suite. They gave us some welcome champagne. It was so nice. And we just decided just to go walking, and it was around dinner time when we got into Rome after taking the train. And one thing that we did in every place is that we did FaceTime with my mother-in-law and my wife's grandmother, who is 92, almost 93. She's never been anywhere and obviously can't travel at this stage of her life. So we would always just do a FaceTime and just go wandering around wherever we were so that she could enjoy that. So at this point in time, we just saw this giant building and we were like, statues, and we just kind of left our hotel and started walking towards the statues. And what we realized, we came to this like fork in the road, and we were like, well, we could go that way to the Basilica, or we could go that way to the Colosseum. And we turned our head to the left, and the Colosseum was right there at the end of the road. So that's where we ended up walking to. Just being in that history and just seeing the ruins of the Roman Empire and just all of the things. It was actually really, really cool. So yeah, so we spent 3 days in Rome, had a lot of gelato, had a lot of pasta the entire time that we were in Italy. And we did a tour of the Colosseum, to where we actually went down on the floor. I'll insert pictures and stuff. That was actually really cool. The history of the Colosseum is just so, it's incredible to hear. It's also very sad to think about all of the life that was lost there, but also thinking about different times. But it was really wild standing inside of the Colosseum. They have rebuilt a lot of it. They are doing a lot of work. We also did a tour of, which was a little walking tour, and there was only 4 of us in our guide, which was actually really cool. Normally those big tours are 20 people plus and a guide, and so it was kind of nice. But we did the Vatican City. We are not Catholic, we are not religious, but the architecture and seeing the Sistine Chapel and all of the artwork and stuff was really cool. So we did that, and then my wife started to feel sick. We thought that it was the lilies that were real in our hotel room. She's severely allergic. So I got rid of those and thought maybe she would feel better. And unfortunately, when we were doing the Colosseum, which was on my birthday on March 6th, she was just pouring sweat. She had a fever. You could tell she just was not feeling very well at all. And so she was a trooper and pulled through. But we decided before we were going to go from Italy to Rome, from Rome to Athens, Greece, that we should probably get her seen by a doctor. So we went to the doctor before we left. And the doctor checked her all out. We tested her for COVID. We tested her for flu. Doctor looked in the back of her throat and said, I see some white spots, but I think it's just allergies. In Italy, you have to have a prescription pretty much for everything. So she prescribed her 400 milligrams of ibuprofen, which as Americans, we brought with us. Anyways, we brought 200 milligrams of ibuprofen in a little container. So we actually had several pills. We still filled it. And we're like, okay, it's allergies, weird for ibuprofen, but just to help with the inflammation and stuff. So, for my birthday dinner, we decided to have gelato, on the steps of our hotel that were marble in front of this gorgeous fountain. because we were walking like 5 miles a day and we were sore and tired, and I really just was kind of over pasta at that point in time. Shh, don't say anything, but I was. And so we just did gelato because I turned 40 and I can do that. So, and she was just feeling pretty rough, exhausted, and, you know, from traveling and everything. So we decided to rest up, checked out of the hotel, flew to Athens. The whole flight, she was sweating. She was not good. We got to Athens, and Athens, we were only there for about 2 days, and before we had to fly home. And we did a private tour of the Acropolis and the Parthenon, and then so we had a driver that just kind of like took us to these places, and then we would go wander and get back in the car. And we did sunset at Poseidon's temple. That was incredible. And the whole time Jess was sick, visibly sick. She was in the back of the car, this poor driver, coughing and just runny nose and the whole gamut, sweating, breaking fevers left and right, and still was so worried about just ruining my birthday trip. So we actually ended up having a down day the day before we decided to fly. I think it was the day before we started to fly. Maybe. So Sunday night we pack up, we get ready to, we're like, all right, hotel transfer comes at 5 o'clock in the morning, where we were going to fly from Athens to London. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, I've got my eye mask on, I got my earplugs in, because, you know, sleeping in a hotel. She was up all night coughing, just coughing, tossing and turning, sweating, everything, just not good. Her voice was pretty scratchy. And I woke up and I looked at her and I said, how are you going to fly? And she says, I don't know that I'm going to be able to fly. You should go home and I'll stay here and get medical care, and then I'll figure out how to get home. Y'all, I don't know how many of y'all have ever flown internationally, especially with a partner or loved one. I was pretty sure that she was delusional from fever at that point in time, telling me to go ahead and travel internationally by myself, and that she was going to stay internationally by herself. Well, Greece did just legalize same-sex marriage. Yay. I was like, absolutely not, because I can't take care of you and know what is going on. The level of anxiety that I had at that moment was just through the roof. So luckily I had convinced her to get travel insurance when we booked this trip. Just for some reason we normally don't. We did. Obviously we're trying to call Costco, can't get a hold of Costco because of the 9-hour time difference. It was the middle of the night here in the US. And so we finally got a hold of the travel insurance. They were like, we need a doctor's note that says that you can't travel if you can't travel. So we call the hotel desk, ask them for a doctor. Mind you, it is 2:30 in the morning. Our hotel shuttle is coming at 5 a.m. They end up finding us a 24-hour on-call doctor that came to our hotel room. We had 75 euros. The doctor visit was 145, and their credit card system was down. So the hotel that we were at was not in the best area. It was probably the most unsafe area that I actually felt like that we were in the entire trip. And so I was trying to figure out how we were going to pay the doctor. The hotel person, we called back and forth and tried to figure it out. He actually paid the other 70 euros out of his own pocket and said, we'll figure it out in the morning. Or you can Venmo me or whatever their Cash App is. They don't have Venmo, but whatever that is. So doctor starts writing out prescriptions for her. It was a unknown virus infection, something. And the whole time he's talking to her, doesn't tell her you can't fly. So I start packing up our toiletries, all those last minute things that you wait to grab as you're literally walking out the door to the hotel. And he's writing out his prescriptions. And I say, is that really necessary? Because we're going to catch our flight. And he looked at me like I had 5 heads at that point in time and said, I don't think you guys are flying today. I don't think you guys are flying for at least 48 hours. Well, she gets some antibiotics on board. So that was all we needed. Made sure that he wrote that on his prescription, or on his like visit summary, which he was like, it's going to be in Greek. We're like, we'll get it translated. It's fine. So by the time he left our hotel room, it was about 4:30 in the morning, because he didn't get there until about 3:30. We got all the prescriptions. The guy at the front desk, we gave 75 euros to the doctor. He paid the rest of them. We finally went to sleep. The local Costco people. We did not have any local Costco travel representatives in Italy. None. When we got to Athens, we were greeted by somebody. He gave us a binder of tours and like all these things, gave us all of his phone number. So his phone number, his supervisor's phone number. It was amazing. She called us at 5 o'clock in the morning and was like, I'm so sorry to hear that you all are sick and that you can't travel. There's not a lot that I can do right now, but when my local office is open in 4 hours, I will see what I can do from my side to try to help you all out, whether that's securing the hotel room or whatever I can do. So we finally went to sleep. She called at 9 a.m. She was able to secure the hotel room for us for another night. And the whole time we're panicking because we're going, this is going to be really expensive to get us home. We ended up getting a hold of Costco later in the day. I did feel safe walking around there during the daylight, just not at night. It was like there was a lot of strip clubs, which nothing wrong with that. There were a lot of sex workers. Nothing wrong with that either, if that's your thing. But I just didn't feel safe for a single female walking around for me. So I did not get her prescriptions or go out or anything like that at night. So first thing in the morning, found a pharmacy on my phone, it was like less than a mile, walked over to the pharmacy and got her all of her medication. They gave her 6 different medications, I think. And came back to the hotel and we just hung out. She slept pretty much the entire time. We were able to get a hold of Costco US, and y'all, I'm just going to plug it right here. I'm not affiliated with them, but I would 100% book through Costco travel again. I've heard nightmares about people being like, if you get stuck, you can't get a hold of anybody and you can't, like, they're not super helpful and you just kind of got to figure it out on your own. We called Costco travel when they opened, and we ended up getting connected with the same person that we actually booked the trip through, even though it's a call center, which was really funny. She was phenomenal. I wish I could remember her name, so I could go and like do a review or something for her. We told them we couldn't fly until Wednesday. This was Monday. Told them we couldn't fly until Wednesday. They got us on the same flights that we had scheduled, that we missed, which we were panicking because we weren't sure how the airline, because we couldn't get a hold of anybody. We couldn't get a hold of anybody at British Airways either, to tell them that we weren't going to make our flight. So we couldn't check in online because it was an international flight and they needed to see our passports. So we were kind of panicked with how they marked our tickets at first. And she was like, no, everything looks good. It was supposed to be an $80 change fee just for the flight from Athens to London. They waived that. So it did not cost us anything to change our flights for 2 days later, which was just, so the only thing that we had to pay for was the hotel room for 2 nights, which was $120 a night, I think. Food, obviously. And a new hotel transfer, which was about $100 because we did a private car. So we were not out thousands like we thought we were going to be. It was actually a really great experience all around. Even though she got sick and it sucked, we were able to get some medication on board. We were able to fly on Wednesday. Her fever was finally under control for the most part. And she did have some ear issues flying, especially coming down into London. But thankfully she was okay for the flight from the long flight, which was, again, another about 10 hours from London to Denver. So all in all, it was a great trip. Even though we got stuck in Greece for an extra couple of days and couldn't really do anything. She told me to go out without her because I stayed healthy somehow. I'm not sure how that happened when we were in close proximity the whole entire trip. And she was coughing in my face at night, and I don't know how that happened. But I stayed healthy. And so she kept telling me to go do things and explore while she was bedridden. And I just didn't feel like that was what I wanted to do. You know, she needed ice, she needed her meds, she needed just food. Like, I just wanted to make sure that she was getting her needs met so that she was good enough to fly on Wednesday. So we got back on Wednesday into Denver. Luckily I had taken Wednesday off, had asked my boss if I could have Thursday off, given the travel day, the jet lag, and I had already been scheduled for stuff in the afternoon. So I did not actually get an extra day off as I had planned, to try to recover. I slept in a little bit, but I was up working by like noon Denver time. However, sorry that I just knocked you. Fun fact, we came home to the biggest snowstorm that we had all year long. We've had a pretty dry winter here in Denver. I live in the suburbs. I'm a little bit south of Denver proper. Southwest of Denver proper, and we came home. It was 70 degrees Fahrenheit when we left Athens. Sunny, gorgeous, just, yeah. We came home to rain, which quickly turned over to snow. We ended up getting the kids early, so we share custody with their other mom. So there's 3 of us. Their mom who gave birth to them, my wife's ex. And we were going to get them on Thursday. And they had already started canceling school for Thursday. Like, school was already canceled. And so I knew it was going to be bad. They were calling for 2 feet plus. Overnight. Well, between Wednesday night and Thursday during the day. So, and it was raining when we landed. So I was like, let's just get the kids tonight. So we were completely exhausted. By this time we had been traveling for 21 hours by the time that we actually touched down in Denver, got through customs, got our bags, got home. It's an hour drive from the airport to us. I went to the grocery store because we had no food in the house and I knew the snowstorm was coming. I got home and Jess looked at me and said, I'm fading fast. And the plan was that she was going to go get the kids because I don't like to drive in the snow. I know. I live in Colorado. I'm from Michigan. I just don't like it. The snow out here is different than it is in Michigan. And y'all can't tell me anything different, especially when it rains first and it just becomes this big sheet of ice, and it was already starting to get dark. So I was like, all right, you know what? I just got back from the grocery store. I'm still rocking and rolling. I don't know how. Let's just go get the kids. Took off, went, got the kids, came home, and woke up to 2 feet of snow, on Thursday. So school was canceled Thursday, school was canceled on Friday, and then my kids went into spring break. So, and the whole time, Jess was still sick. She ended up having to go to the doctor, get another round of antibiotics. Luckily, she's on the mend. Everybody's doing good. Whew. Long life update. As I mentioned, I did something to my shoulder. I'm in PT. I have no idea what, but I had my first PT session yesterday, and the physical therapist told me that the impact to the mobility in my left arm is severe, and that if it does not improve in the next 2 weeks, then I'm probably going to have to go to MRI. And she started using words like rotator cuff surgery. So hoping that I can rehabilitate this without needing any surgery, because I hear rotator cuff is one of the hardest surgeries to recover from. And obviously that will impact my stitching. Let's see. What else do I have? Oh, we found out about a month ago, definitely within the last time that I've seen you guys. My brother-in-law and his girlfriend are expecting. So we're super excited about that because my kids are 14. They're twins. And so we are super excited to have a baby in the family. They're due right around my wife's birthday, actually. They're due mid-September. So that's exciting. Other than that, I don't really think anything else is going on. Work is work. Can't really talk about work because of what I do. So yeah, looking forward to going to Stitch North and seeing a bunch of y'all. If any of you guys are coming and you're still here, comment below, let me know. I would love to say hello, meet up with you, see what you're working on. Couple of shout outs. If you're still here, great. Thank you for hanging out. So 310 Stitcher, Jade. She's been around for a while, but I just discovered her a couple months ago. Actually, I kind of knew about her, but then I just didn't get a chance to sit down and actually watch her videos. She has some phenomenal projects. I'm sure that a lot of you all are already subscribed to her. Incredible. And she's just so nice. And then also the Running Stitcher, he's actually newer. He just posted, I want to say a week ago, maybe, his 10th video. So he's actually fairly new, but he's got some amazing projects as well. And is just really cool to listen to and watch. I love his energy. And I feel like in this community, we don't have a lot of male stitchers that I'm aware of. And so when I find one that I run across that I absolutely want to call them out and bring them into the community and share their information so that other people can discover them. He's got a lot of subscribers. Again, y'all may be already subscribed to him, but yeah, I've been watching him and I love his projects, and he makes such incredible progress every video. So I'll link those two people down below, plus my usuals. And I will go ahead and get this wrapped up. So again, my name's Kim, the 303 Stitcher, here on Flosstube and on Instagram. I actually do post probably more on Instagram as I work on stuff. So please feel free to check me out over there. Thank you so much for being here. I know this is a little bit of a long one for me with a lot of life update, not a lot of stitching. I plan on being back here at the end of April to show y'all what I worked on. If you like what you see, please hit the like and subscribe button. That way you know when I post. It is greatly appreciated. If I hit 500, I will probably do a giveaway. I'm pretty far from that right now, but so if you want to share with your friends, family, whoever might like this, it would be really appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy stitching. I'll see you in April.